What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Barber Block Podcast. I'm your host, Lamar Harris. And as always, man, we've been having some great guests, and we've got another one for you today. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel, all that good stuff. Share this with your family. Share this with your friends, because although we are gearing this towards the barber, it's for everybody. Anybody can be inspired. So we're here to share, to educate, and to inspire. So everyone can take something from these podcasts. So thank you for tuning in, and please help me welcome Frandy Pena, the owner of Mission Barbers.
Thank you, Lamar, for having me, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you for coming through.
It's a pleasure and an honor.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So let's jump right in. So you're the owner of Mission Barbers. So tell us where you're located and what's going on with you in 2023.
Yeah, so we're located on the southwest corner of Gilbert and Jermaine. So one side of the street is Chandler, other side of the street is Gilbert. We opened up in January 2020, and then been expanding every few months. Right now, by Friday, we'll have our 7th barber.
Oh, wow.
So I have it set up like salon suites in there, and then like a boba shop, coffee shop in the front.
Okay.
But for this year, just continuing to expand and then continuing to grow the product line.
Yeah.
And then continuing efforts and giving back into the community and like scaling that more to a national level.
Wow. Yeah. So I know there's so many ways for barbers to go in this industry. And so you're in the salon suites, you've created suites, and then you've got a product line and different things. So let's talk about that. Like what sparked the idea of going with creating a product line? Yeah.
So let me see. So when I first started the business, I was just like, all right, I want like quality products, right? Not just for my clients, but like for resale or for other barbers to be able to sell and like make money off of too. Mm-hmm. But I felt like even though the market bears it, I didn't feel like people should be paying so much money for it. So I wanted to have a high quality product that's affordable for everybody, whether if it's wholesale or retail, mm-hmm. And be able to provide it to our clients. And then those same products be able to offer it to like kids and like children's home, orphanages, like in care packages and stuff like that. So just finding the right partner to do that with.
Yeah. So what type of products do you offer? What's in your line?
Like pomade, beard oils, beard balms, hair volume powder, like the texturizing powder.
Yeah.
Matte creams, paste.
So you've got a pretty extensive line. So pretty much everything for styling.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yep.
So let's talk about your the business itself, the studios.
Yeah.
So do you own the whole thing now, or is it, because I know you've been taking it over.
Yeah. Oh no, I rent the spaces there.
Yeah.
But I help like manage the location and stuff. So as rooms become available, and if we're turning away like X amount of people like per day, I know, hey, it's time, and then I just grab another room and just keep on. So one day I would love to have a place, but we'll see.
Yeah. So are you on that? You've got that whole left side.
Yeah, the left side. I'm on the left side. Yeah. My wife will kill me if I decided at least in another room. Yeah. Love you, babe.
So how many rooms you have now in total?
Three rooms.
7 barbers.
Yeah, 7 barbers, and then like kind of like 2 like sub other spaces that are like subbed out, like a boba shop in the front.
Okay.
And then another one that we do like teeth whitening and stuff like that. Okay. But that's somebody else's business that I like secured the room for.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
and that area it's a good area. It's lots of traffic.
Yeah. I was super blessed. Yeah, super blessed.
So what made you decide to go into that space and on your own at that point?
We so I've been cutting hair for like a long time, and started in '96 in New York. And then in Connecticut, and then while I was going through school, and then the corporate career type thing. When we moved back from DC, I was in a friend's shop, and my kids were going to school next door. Mm-hmm. So I was just looking at different business plans, and I was like, all right, do I buy a shop? Do I start a new one? Regular retail location, right? And I looked at that spot there, and I had the coffee shop. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And they had a small room in the back that was like the size of a closet.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, this is awesome. I want to be able to provide like a small, intimate space, mm-hmm. customize the experience, just like for my clients, because I was going through like so many mental health, like anxiety, depression, and everything. So mm-hmm. when I decided to leave the corporate world, I just wanted to be able to provide that space for other people. Mm-hmm. And then one thing after another just kept on like growing. That I was like, hey, I need a bigger room. A barber joined, and oh man, I need another room. Like, so I really, I love all like, barbershop type of environments, and there's so many different like models, right? Yeah. But I really like being able to have like a more intimate space. Yeah. So I have like 2 barbers to a room and customize the music, conversation. A lot of our clients do like, they're on like their, conference calls while they're getting their cuts. Yeah. So it's just cool just being able to customize it, making it more about them and like less about us.
Right. So what is it? Do you have a secret sauce of a process that, that the customer knows, like when they come in, they're going to experience this?
Yeah.
Do you have that in place? Or
I try to keep it super simple. From like the booking process on like from my website to like the booking process. So I have like 4 different packages, right? Well, if it's like a kid's cut, regular haircut, distinguished gentleman, which is a haircut, warm lather, hot towels, straight razor shave or beard work. Then I have other packages that are like the boss or the executive, and those include like hand rolled Dominican cigars. We have a liquor bar. There's a coffee shop, like, and things are included, and like face masks and stuff. So I just try to make it like, hey, like what is it that you want to experience, and then tailor it around there.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you let the customer choose, or the client choose what they want their experience to be like.
Exactly.
And so they have multiple options to choose from.
Yep. And I usually don't see like a lot of new clients, and already the other barber, that Manny, that's been with us for a few years, like he's like fully booked out too. So like we already know like each other's clients. So when they come in, I already know like kind of like the vibe a little bit, and we just like play off of each other. Yeah. And then the other 2 rooms, they try to do like the same thing.
Yeah. So how do you market? What is your is there something in particular that you do to get the word out? What is it that you do?
So I haven't had to do like ads, like paid advertising or ads since about, I started doing that maybe like a month ago, and it's going well and stuff. It's just really been like a lot of support from the community.
Really I see your paid ads, by the way.
Yeah, so thank you. Yeah, we started like a month ago.
It comes up in my feed.
Yeah, thank you. It's working. No, just having a great relationship with your clients, and they're going to refer, and they have a good experience. It's more likely that they're going to do the, like spread the word type thing. And then the local support from like the local like Facebook groups and stuff like that. I don't know if there's like something like secret. I think it's just making it about them and making them feel comfortable and like cared for. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. So let's take it back. So let's go back to pre-barber Frandy. What were you doing at that point? Yeah. And what was it that, what was that defining moment that you said, you know what, I want to be a barber?
Yeah. So it started in like 95, 96 in New York. Just I wanted to get like a tight fade in the sides. My parents were super strict. I'm sure some of you can relate. And I was like, oh yeah, I want like a tight fade, like bald and with the line right here. And my parents were like, no, you're not going to do that. And I was going to the local barbershops in New York, and they're like, no, we're not going to do that on your head, because your parents are like mad strict. We know them. Yeah. I was like, just say that I moved or something, And anyways, I started practicing at some of my friends, because I was like, I'm going to get good enough where I can cut my own hair. I'm going to do what I want.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was the rebel.
Yeah, it was a rebel. And I started getting good, but then my friends, they had, we had a little like chin hair, Yeah. So they used to go to the barbershop to get it done with a straight razor, because I had those like super cheap edging machines, and you weren't around in New York that time to hook me up. But so then the barber was like, oh, where's every, like you and your crew getting your haircuts? And they were like, oh, Frandy's doing it. So next time I went to get my haircut, he was like, all right, why aren't you finishing? I was like, oh, I have like a good edging machine. I have the money for it. So he fixed up one of those like old Andis like style liners that they were called. They were like boxy.
Yeah, the black one, the style liner too.
Yeah, style liner twos. He fixed one up for me, gave it to me. He's like, hey, this is for you. My gift to you. Whenever you get a haircut, just come here before and after, help clean up, and then I'll verbally tell you what I'm doing to learn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then before I was going off to college, he was like, hey, if you ever want to cut hair here, just let me know. Just call me. So I'll go back from Connecticut to New York, cut hair. It started, did that in college.
Yeah. So you had a trade while you were in school.
Yeah. I made these little flyers that said New York's finest, and I spread it out through all the dorms. I was cutting hair till midnight. They didn't know. But no, that's how it started. And then we moved out here. But I was an IT project manager for many, many years. And it was just like wearing me down. Did my MBA. Like my master's and everything, and like loved the job and everything like that. But I was like, I have like a shell of what I feel like the man that I was meant to be. Like it just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
But just always loved barbering. And then I started volunteering in Virginia at this orphanage. One of my friends put me onto, and started volunteering, and it felt so good.
Yeah.
Helping out the kids. And then I did an event for like veterans for like mental health and like sending them to like a retreat.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, that was here in Arizona. So when we moved back here, I was like, I need like to step away for a bit, babe. And then she supported me, and so I've been like big on, well, like the name Mission Barbers is because like of our mission work.
Yeah.
So I've just been big on the giving back, because so many people have helped me throughout the way, from like learning to giving back to helping us be on our feet. So I feel like it's my duty to do the same to others, to give back to others and stuff like that. So
So you mentioned, so you go to school, you get the degree, you got the professional career going on in IT, you got a master's degree, and some people, who have that same level of education would be like, well, what were you thinking? Like, what happened? Why?
It took a lot to like
barbering, for those who don't respect the trade.
Absolutely. And I wrongfully, like, even like throughout that time when my wife and I were dating in college, she was just like, you're supposed to be a barber. And I was like, no, I'm going to have this type of corporate job. And I was doing like well. Yeah. But people that knew me knew like, hey, you get like barber, but they also knew my other like dreams, right? Yeah. But I was wrongfully associating a lifestyle that I saw around me with a career. And it really wasn't until like I did my own thing, till like when I opened up my own like barber suite or whatever, right? That I was like, hey, we could make this whatever we want, the vibe that you want, the culture that you want, giving back the way that you want. Yeah. So it was, I just like jumped in because I was at a crossroad where I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be alive if I don't change something soon. And at that time we have 4 kids. We have 5 kids now, and we're going on 21 years married. So I feel super blessed, but I was at a crossroad where I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be alive tomorrow. Yeah. So we got to do something about it.
Yeah. How old are you?
44. Turning 45. We forget after we get old.
Someone as old as me. All right. Tired of all these young barbers coming up in here.
They're talented, man.
They are. Yo, they are talented, great. But man, I've been cutting for. Like, how old are you? 22. Get out of here. Yeah. But I love it though, because they have some great experience. They cutting since they were 12, and the great stories to hear of different people's journey, and then you come along, and this is something totally different that we haven't had before. Someone who had the IT job and really in the corporate setting, and then to just say like, what the hell with that, and let me do what I want to do, and you realize that you can still have the lifestyle, and create that for you and your family. So that's awesome.
It's amazing, and like how like the journey, like throughout that, like that whole journey, like when you look at it, like the way different things happen to the different people that are in your life. Yeah, it's just like how can you not be at awe at that? That's just special, man. Yeah. So thank you for having.
Oh yeah, me here, absolutely.
Man. All the love that you like, everything you put in back into the community.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. What's your favorite type of haircut to do?
Oh man, that's a good question. I enjoy them all, but I like ones that you can incorporate like some style, like some flair to it, with some like practicality type thing. Like kind of like everyday use. I love beards and stuff like that. Yeah. So I like it when you have kind of like a tight fade with some like style on top. And you can just work it and also have like flexibility. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like party sometimes, or like business like other times.
Gotcha. So a haircut for all occasions.
Yeah. And that's what got me that award for that Andes Brown Brothers competition.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So tell me about that. What was that about?
Oh, it was cool. One of my colleagues like registered me for it, and I was like, "You did what?" I was like, "You crazy, you're bugging." And I was going through all that mental health stuff, so I didn't know which Frandy was going to show up that day, and get down there. But we made a little weekend vacation out of it, and it was just an awesome experience, just seeing people come over from like all over the world. Yeah, I think it was like 52,000 people that were there at that expo. It was just a great experience, and I just remembered like. It was just like when they said they like go, they were just like, all right, I just felt like I saw like this like frosted glass. I come around and I was just like zoned in.
Yeah.
But it was a great experience.
So what exactly did you do when you got there? What was your role there?
So it was just like like a barber competition, like complete, not like designs or anything like that. You could do whatever you want, but it was like a complete look transformation type thing.
Yeah.
So I flew a model in, and then I was talking to the person that was coordinating everything, like, hey, this is the tools I'm going to bring. I know it's in this, so I got to leave my wall stuff home. But they took me backstage, and it was like Kenny Duncan was one of the judges. The Bronner brothers, a few other judges and stuff. And they were like, hey, we're going to deduct points just to let you know, like, beforehand if you use this. I'm like, why? They're like, oh, you could only use what's in the box. And I was going to be using like thinning shears and everything too. And I was like, oh, how am I going to do this? I said, be creative. So I ended up doing like kind of like point cutting, but like on the top, but with the clippers, like what they gave us in the box.
So they gave you a box of tools. They gave you a box,
but they didn't tell us that before.
They didn't tell you that.
So I was like, I would have totally done something different. But it was a cool haircut.
Yeah.
It was like at that time, it was like a burst fade, and I did a design from here, like into the beard, and kind of like a pompadour too at the time. So it was a lot of fun. It was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool.
So was that your first competition sort of?
My first. I had no idea what to expect. So it was cool.
And that's a big stage.
Yeah. It was fun. I think it opened up a lot of doors and just a lot of respect for it. So
yeah,
it was cool.
So what sort of connections came out of that after the fact,
Just like other barbers and stuff like that. But then I think just definitely not a master at like competitions or anything like that, but just like encouraging people to like go to them, even if it's not to compete, but like, Arizona Expo is going to have, Barber Expo is coming up.
Yes.
But just like a place to like connect, network, educate yourself and see what's out there and just network and stuff. So
do you plan to compete out here?
No, I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know. It was again. My friend signed me up for it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'll do it again. But it was great though. But
what about anyone on your team? Are they going to compete?
We'll see. All right. I got to talk to them about it. Yeah. Definitely attend. We'll see if they want to compete and stuff. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So let's talk about family life. So once clippers are down and you're at home with the family, what is that like? What is that atmosphere like? And is there something that you guys like to do as a family?
Yeah, we love the outdoors, like camping, kayaking, paddleboarding, and stuff like that. Yeah. We have a lot of kids ranging from 1.5 years old, 13, 15, 18, 20. So yeah, we got run the gamut. So some in college and some in diapers.
1.5 to 20. I just caught that.
Yeah, one of the barbers gave me a fresh cut, and then the magic happened when I got home. It's insane. But we stay busy. We love sports. We love barbecuing and stuff, and just spending time with like family and friends. And that's really what like our days off look like. My wife is a midwife, so that's a little crazy at times, but super rewarding too, and like just feels good.
Yeah. So and coming from New York and Connecticut and going to school there, and you said you lived in DC a little bit, and then you came here to Arizona after that. And so what were like the differences that you've noticed, like within the industry of moving all of those different places, even though you were in school cutting, and then DC kind of probably just doing friends and family, and then coming here to Arizona. What was that experience like, and what did you notice is the biggest difference?
Man, at first it seemed like when I was here, when we first like moved here back in 2003, then we went to DC, then came back. I felt like in New York.
This episode is brought to you by Leonetti's Barber Supply. We've been in the barber supply business since 1968, helping barbers deliver their best haircuts. We're located at 1633 East McDowell Road, Phoenix, Arizona, 85006. We've got everything you need. We've got your clippers, we've got your trimmers, we've got your disinfectants, everything you need to help you deliver your best haircut. Now let's get back to this episode.
At least maybe it was like you're aware of the stage you are in your life. But I just remember like in New York, everybody coming in like twice a week for their haircuts or haircut and edge up. Do you know what I mean? Always looking fresh for the weekends.
Yeah.
But I was also like young at that time, so I was in like that stage, right? But you see that here, and we have that here too. So I don't know. I really feel like, and also like social media wasn't around. back then. So I think like the support of like barbers like within the community is really cool to see.
Yeah.
Because when I was growing up in New York, like, you had like three barbershops like in one block.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it was like almost like a lot of competition.
Yeah.
Type thing, where I don't think it's the same now, because like my friends have shops, and if we're like booked out and it doesn't work for the client schedule, I'll send them to one of my friends' shop. It's all love.
Yeah.
You know, so but then that's also like the stage that I'm at like right now. It's like just share.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just like build a good community and take care of the client and have a good experience, and that's what it's about.
Yeah.
So I guess it feels like bigger, but things like this and the other barbers around and like the cool like vibe and community, I think is special.
Yeah.
So like looking at it, I think that's a big difference that I see. And I don't know if that's like an Arizona thing, but that's what I'm experiencing right now.
Yeah, Arizona's still up and coming, right?
Yeah,
There are a lot of people who are moving here from different parts of the country, and it makes it a very unique place.
Yeah.
I think, anyways. I'm from California originally, so been here 20 years now, and so just to see the changes that have happened here in and out of the industry, just in Arizona as a whole, and then to see the industry just continue to grow.
Yeah.
And then things to happen here, that actually see it develop.
Yeah. And there's so many barbershops here that have been around forever too.
Yeah.
So that's cool to see too, is like barbershops that have been around for like a long time and still doing it. Like, so you see a lot of different things and stuff, and it evolves. So I think as long as we keep on adapting and supporting each other and evolving, like the sky's the limit for everybody, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you think you'll ever or have a standalone shop like you're going to move into?
Yeah, I was looking at it earlier this year, and for where we're currently at, the price per square foot for like what I want to do is like more than double than if I was to be in other parts of town. So it was just too expensive for me to stay like in the spot where I'm at, if doing what I wanted to do, like what my long-term goal is. And it's like, all right, is it worth investing that much money for a spot that I might not even own? So that's why I was like, you know what, I'll continue just grabbing sweets.
It's working, right?
So it's working for now. So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
You've got people who are joining the team, and so you're making an impact because you're still separated though. In there, and so they're still a part of the team. And
and there's a lot of other barbers that reach out to like, hey, like, next time you expand, can you consider me? Or when you go to the orphanage, can we come along? So every time that we go like every 2 months.
Yeah.
I always invite like a student barber that's almost done, and like a barber from another like barbershop or a barber owner. So it's just like, hey, like we can work at different shops and still be cool and like give back together. Yeah. So to me, it's just about bringing two people together. So so we'll see. Yeah,
man, that's great that you have the idea of giving back to those who are less fortunate and making a difference, because a haircut makes a big difference in someone's life.
Absolutely.
Right. It could be, the difference of a date. It could be a difference of a job. It could be a difference of just self-confidence. Yeah. And 100%. So, tell me about maybe some crazy conversations that you've had with a client. What's the craziest thing you've heard?
Oh man. PG? Is this PG?
You can say whatever you want to say.
I mean, all the barbers though, we hear some like crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But one of the coolest is not like crazy.
Yeah.
But we end up having a lot of like first responders and like military in there. One of our barbers, Manny, was in the military too. We have another one was at EMT. So a lot of different walks of life. But I remember when I first opened and I was in the room by myself, I had the hot towel on somebody. It was a veteran, and I remember I took it off, and you just saw like tears, like gushing. I was like, hey, like you okay? Like I'm here for you, right? Yeah. But he was a new dad too. So, but he went through so much, being overseas and stuff like that, and coming home and then dealing like with his like new family, that he didn't have a chance really to take like a break. So I felt like I gave him that space to feel comfortable to like release. And as guys, sometimes I want to speak for every guy, but a lot of times we don't do that. Like we hold things in, right?
Yeah,
we gotta stay strong and like hold things in, right?
Yeah.
Keep it going. But that to me, that was one of the coolest. I don't know if it's like crazy or anything like that, but to me that was just like, all right, I have opportunity to give somebody like a special space.
Yeah.
You know, sacred space and stuff like that.
Yeah, it shows impact.
Yeah.
That they can come and feel comfortable and just
Yeah.
have that release in that space. So
Yeah. So to me, that's special.
So do you ever teach any classes or mentor or?
Not taught like at like schools and stuff like that, or taught like classes. But sometimes I'll have like some like student barbers or kids that are wanting to be barbers. Like they'll reach out, and then and a lot of like new barbers that are like, hey, you know, you have a spot there. Then I'll refer them to like, hey, you could work at this shop or that shop, or look at this school and that school. So so I try to like gear them, you know, just give them like options, or let them know like different things out there, and just stay in touch and just try to help them along the journey. Really.
Yeah. So if you had one piece of advice that you could give to anyone, what would that say as far as a barber?
As barbers?
Yeah.
Is I think just know like the vibe, like just envision like how you imagine it being like years from now, right? And surround yourself around people, like resources that could like help you get there, and like envision that, and like and be it, right? And give back and stuff. Just think outside of ourselves, and it comes back to you in like different ways.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I would say it's just like, don't lose focus of who you are and why you're doing it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times we'll be like, oh, I love like the way people like making people feel good and stuff like that, right? And the transformations, whatever it is. Yeah. And then we get caught up in the grind and making money and stuff, and that's what we sometimes end up like focusing on. Like, don't forget why you're doing this. Yeah. You know, and who helped you get here. Yeah. You know, and just try to pay it forward, I think. So just don't forget about like your core values and stuff.
Core values. Yeah. Staying humble. Yeah. And remembering where you come from. Yeah. And who helped you along the way.
That's it, man.
Man, that's great. One more question before we go. So tell me your thoughts on, you know, you see a lot of these people on Instagram, a lot of barbers using the enhancements, whether it be the fibers, the dyes, the pencils, the markers, and all of that stuff. What's your take on that? Is that something you use, or what's your opinion on that?
We don't, and none of the barbers that are on the team, like part of our family, use them. Not opposed to it. Yeah. At first, I wasn't so fond of it because I was just like, how much of that, like the haircut, like the end result looks great, but how much of it is like the haircut, right? So how much of it is like real, and how much is it is gonna like last or like wear off, right? Right. But then I started appreciating it more because I'm like, hey, like that's an art too. Even though I don't do it, I respect it. Yeah. You know, so, and at the end of the day, if it's about the client and that's what they want, then you're just delivering what they want, right? And that's like a whole nother like level that some people can't do. Yeah. I don't do it. Not that I won't, or like want to like learn about it, but I want to make sure that like, hey, their haircut the way it is when they walk out of the chair without any enhancements, like, are they going to be happy with that? And if you take the enhancement away, does it still look good? Yeah. You know, but I think it's dope. You know, I think it's dope. And some of the stuff you see is like, wow, like that's an art in itself.
Yeah, it really is artistic, in my opinion, as well, that, you know, they're using all these things, the enhancements, the colors, and, you know, especially if you're in front of the camera or you're doing a photo shoot or you're, you know, making your reels and things like that, you know, it really does enhance the look, you know, of the cut. But like you said, like me, if I'm an everyday Joe, you know, and I put some enhancements on, when it comes off, I need my cut to still be.
Exactly.
Exactly. It shouldn't hide, right? Any flaws or imperfections. It's exactly what it is, an enhancement.
Yep. Yeah. That's it. Also, I'll say like, don't depend on it, right? That's it. Yeah. You know, but no, some people are really talented, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, man, we certainly appreciate you stopping by today, and the conversation, man, is a great story, and looking forward to seeing what else comes out of Mission Barbers and the give back, man. And keep us posted on on the things that you guys are doing.
Thank you for all you do for the community and like clients and like barbers and stuff like that, just to have like a resource and like knowledge base for them and like people to connect to. Yeah. You know, I've connected with barbers that you had on here, and it's just like, man, like that's cool. It just provides another like avenue for us to like build a stronger community. So I love it. Great job, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care. And thank you all for tuning in again to another episode of the Barber Block Podcast with Mr. Frandy Pena of Mission Barbers. So stay tuned. We got more episodes coming this season. We'll see you soon. Peace out.